I hate you.
Brown 45! Brown 45! Hot, 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 hot!
Of commercial-free football start now.
Welcome, Week 9 NFL. Some say that I turn into Coho from week to week. Looks like there's a person from Panama that is slowly becoming Coho every week. We're back. Next up, Nazario. You have to feel good at least going into this week because your team's on a bye, so they can't lose. But how are you overall?
We're playing the Jags on the other side, so not that happy. Like, can we play the Rams again at some point, please?
Yes, yeah. You know what? I can make you that promise. You will play the Rams again.
Yeah, I need a fucking break.
No fear, they are coming. Next up. Thanks to Nazario, got to move up even more in the point standing because somebody believed the hype that the Packers were going to beat the Vikings. They didn't injure a quarterback, but that may not be the case.
If Kirk Cousins would have broken his ankle like in the first quarter, it's different.
Okay, Mark, how are you doing tonight?
Good. I think I may just start to use this time. I know this is a football show, but, it may just be the time where I can just air, my hopes and dreams, for my basketball team, San Antonio Spurs, where pulled off a triumphant victory yesterday against the Suns. Sure, Bradley Beal wasn't playing, or Devin Booker, and we got away with a blatant foul at the end. But you know what? We pulled off the victory. I feel fantastic about it.
You stole Durant's lunch live on TV. It was a great time, and you have a 7'4" that is not the next LeBron James. I can confirm that right near on goal. He is not the next LeBron James. He's a good rim blocker. And next up, after Scully embarrasses himself last week with his picks, absolutely just abysmal. I think he did the worst on the show, and his Bears signed a rental, traded for a rental, not even a guy on a contract, and gave up a second when the 49ers only had to give up a third for Chase Young. Wild. We've gotten Andrew Barr. Somebody else has filled that shoes one time before. I think went 3-0 on their picks for Scully. His name is Caleb Coho. How are you? You're an Eagles fan.
Yes,
Weird, and also if we polled the audience and said, that musical guy, he also likes the football, people would be really confused. So, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me on. I can't wait to talk more about football and, see what happens.
All right. So, same thing. I'm going to do like a little detour. We're going to talk a little bit at the very start before we break down last week's games. Trade deadline happened. Trade deadline passed. I would say that the NFL trade deadline is like the most anticlimactic trade deadline of any of the major sports. Like baseball, you get massive moves. I think in NBA, you still get some massive moves. NFL is just like, here's a piece, there's a piece. Nothing really that moves the needle. I think the Commanders doing the smart thing, trading away their picks where they can to get picks, especially if the Chicago Bears are calling and going to give you a second rounder when that team is absolutely going to be in the bottom 5 of the league. I guess I haven't seen Sweat play a ton of games, but can he stop a screen pass? because when they played, that's all they ran against them the entire game, and they couldn't stop a screen pass. So my thing is, if that's the case, cool. They don't even know who they have a quarterback. I think it's a really bad thing. I think the 49ers probably won the day with Chase Young, pairing him back up with Nick Bosa, college teammates. I think that was pretty cool to see. Dobbs going to the Vikings, I think they had to put a Band-Aid on something. I think Dobbs is not – I think he showed he had less to do, less in that organization, and still didn't win, but it wasn't his fault they weren't winning. So that's – sure. I think Dobbs is pissed because he's got to still play football. And I don't – what, people who went to Detroit?
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Peoples-Jones, I think that's a fine move. The Raiders living in mediocrity. Fire their head coach. Fire their GM. Don't trade Devontae Adams to let him live in hell for the next year. And the coach's former linebacker for the Giants is now the new head coach. And his first move is, fuck off, Jimmy G. You're out.
Yeah.
We're bringing the rookie in. I like the idea. But to think about it, they're 3-5. And they're playing the New York Giants and the New York Jets, which could turn. If they played fine, they could have been 5-5 out of this thing. So I don't think there's any big news about it. I just want to touch on it, just to let everybody know about those trades. And I don't think any moves the needle in any way, shape, or form. I think the contenders are still the contenders. I don't know why the Cowboys just stay complacent every trade deadline whatsoever. We have the team. We will compete as this team, but the 49ers and the Eagles got players, and they're just going to sit dormant. Weird.
It's because Jerry Jones had openly recently said that he waits for the initiation of opportunity. He's waiting for other teams to contact him. That's his process.
Can you imagine if you just sat around and waited to get laid all the time? You would never get laid. Same with Jerry Jones. You might want to go knock on some doors. I don't know what to tell you. Might want to pick up a call, send a text, be like, you up? Nothing coming from Jerry Jones. No wonder.
Yeah. I actually gotta say I dig the Niners idea. It's our defense sucked for 3 weeks, so we go and get Chase Young for peanuts because we basically traded him for a compensatory pick, which will
be in the bottom half of the third round anyways. It's nothing. Yeah. You're not getting a great pick. It's wild, and they're way over the cap. But NFL money does not make any sense. Who's your guy, Armstead? This past season, they just decided to convert it to a signing bonus and said, bye-bye. You're off the books now. Now you can go play people. Billionaires can just write things off and move it around. So that was the news. We're going to talk about the Week 9. I would say an interesting week overall in the NFL. Some movers and shakers. Here's the thing. My stance, and it's a very weak stance, besides that with the remaining schedule, I don't want to kick, saying obvious again. I think the Lions have a clear shot at the number 1 seed at this point. I think with that division, garbage.
Yeah,
that division is absolutely with losing the Vikings, with losing him. They have at least 5 games left in division. That is 5 more wins, and the Eagles have a very tough schedule. If the Eagles come out of their schedule unscathed, they are my Super Bowl pick with a bullet. If they can come out and beat all those teams and stay up the top, I don't think the Lions could lose a game the rest of the season, to be fair, because I think their defense is tough. But my takeaway is if we continue to do the show next year, I am going to veto any conversation that we have about Joe Burrow and the Bengals until week 6. Okay. Are they this? Are they that? Is this a question mark? Nope. This is the exact formula. They have it to a T. They start off slow. They show you what they want to show you, and then they literally slice your throat and throw you in the river. It is like a science. They have not only been dominant the last 3 weeks, but also even the game that they were supposed to lose to the Seahawks because of how bad they truly played, they manhandled the 49ers on Sunday. Like, the score was a little bit close, but, like, overall, that game was never in doubt for them. And a peek behind the curtain that people don't get to know, I text Nazario because I think it was Thursday or Friday. I said, hey, can I get out of my Bengals pick? I'll pick another game because I didn't know that Purdy cleared protocol, and I thought once you enter protocol, you're out for the week. And it's not the case. Nazario goes, no, suck it. You get to keep it. Good thing he did, because now I get 2 times 2 because they won. So that was beautiful. Thank you, Nazario. But I think Joe Burrow, either that game is getting the AFC Championship game is going to be played in Cincinnati, or they're going to Arrowhead again, and I think they are the clear number 1 or number 2 in the AFC.
What about the Bills?
No.
They're going to be put in their place this week. Wait for it.
The Bengals had an excuse the entire time playing, right? Their entire time, the way they were playing, the whole question was, Burrow might be injured. They're not healthy. He's struggling to make things. They scored 3 points in 3 points in a total of like 2 of the games. They were like not moving the ball. Jamar Chase was talking in the thing. I'm always open. There was dysfunction. And now they're like, bye week, everything, I'm ready to go. This team's just running on all cylinders. The Bills have lost games that they shouldn't have lost, and they've also won games that they probably should have lost. The Giants they should have lost. They held Waller in the end zone. So they technically right now should be what? 3-4? 4 and 5 or whatever the record would be for, but they should be off. So next year, not allowed to talk about the Bengals till week 6 moving forward, unless it's in a positive note. Like, they'll be just fine. They're the Bengals. Thomas Scully liked to pass off that he was the Bengals whisperer and told us all that they were fine. No, we just said if Burrow stays injured, this is going to be a problem. Clearly, the calf doesn't hurt anymore. Anybody else disagree with me on Joe Burrow and then most likely now in line at the AFC Championship? Like, if they continue this.
I mean, I think Joe Burrow should maybe borderline be investigated because he tricked us all. I mean, like, I don't believe he was hurt. Like, because he looks like a completely different player. There's no reason why he all of a sudden got healthy. He just makes us all look dumb. Like, he just you know what, I'm gonna try and just, complete passes stationary one week. Oh shit, that didn't work. I guess I'll just go back to the way we were doing when I was beating the Chiefs. Like, it's kind of stupid. It's a little bit annoying because honestly, the Chiefs are kind of the same way. Because I hope nobody comes to the table like, oh my god, what's wrong with the Chiefs? Like, fucking nothing wrong with the Chiefs. It's week 8. Like, we're not in
flu
December.
game, and they turned into the 85 Bears.
I just
against
know
the team that's
that
always their kryptonite.
Also, the
Taylor-
NFL needs to stop doing this stupid thing that they scheduling divisional opponents 2 weeks apart from each other.
Yeah.
Like, we just saw this game. We don't need to see it again. And clearly the Chiefs are like, I don't need to fucking worry about this team. And they're like, yeah, maybe you fucking do, flu boy.
Every time the Eagles are playing a divisional game, it's that same thing this year. Every single time.
Yeah.
It's like that time the 49ers had to play the Rams one week. They beat them. And then the next week in the playoffs, they lost to them. It was a couple of years ago. It sucked, but it was fine. Also, now you know that if Taylor Swift is not shown in the games for like 7 times at least, the Chiefs are in trouble.
No. That's absolutely incorrect. Like, that one argument, I hate the media, but the one thing is not true. She was in attendance during the Jets game. Do we all recall they scored 17 points in the first half and they fucking imploded and almost lost that game in the second half? Like, I don't give a shit what Taylor Swift's doing. Like, I'm glad she's supporting. Like, that's fun. You're bringing in an audience. Do what you got to do. But holy shit, and Tony Romo talking about Taylor Swift should literally be against the law. Like, he sounds like a creepy uncle that goes up to you at a party and be like, you banging any chicks in college? Like, yeah, let me hear about it. Like, stop it.
He hands you a rubber.
Yeah, like,
Oh
what
my
are
God.
we doing? So wild. Nazario, week 9. Refs suck again?
Yeah, They're fine. I want to talk about something that just see if it was you guys consider it was deserved, because I sure do think so. But what are your thoughts on fucking Josh McDaniel getting fired at midnight on Halloween night? This is the thing. In my opinion, the man has always sucked. He sucked when he was an offensive coordinator for the Pats.
Well, he did
He
not
sucked.
suck there.
No, he did not. No.
He was
He
a great
sucked.
offensive coordinator.
No. He sucked when he was drafting
Insane.
Tim Tebow for the fucking Broncos.
Okay.
He went back. He sucked some more. As soon as they lost Brady, man, like, come on. That was not reality what he was living there. And now I don't understand, how do you give him a head coaching job and he does what he does and he makes it this far? That guy should have been fired like 2 weeks ago. Like that was nonsense what the Raiders were doing. And
Here's the
on the one point about Jimmy G. I don't know if it was because I was a Niners fan and I kept getting Google hits about Jimmy G because like Google didn't update that he was no longer in the 49ers, but I kept getting like TikToks and shit that he was doing with the Raiders. Like they brought him to the stadium, they put his fucking intro in the big screen while he was signing the contract and shit. Made a big deal out of getting Jimmy G. Half a season and the guy's benched. Thank you. That's Jimmy G.
Okay, so I have a lot of questions about the Josh McDaniel firing, and I don't understand most of it. The one I fully don't understand is was it Davis's call not to trade Devontae Adams? Like, did he pass that down, or are we blaming it on the GM and he was angry because then he fired him because he didn't make any moves? I watched Jimmy G on Monday night throw the ball into the helmet of players like countless times, like not just a few times. Like his downward projection was insane. Devontae Adams to be targeted 7 times and to get one ball for like 11 yards.
You
You
saw when
have,
he
like,
missed
the-
him, like completely open, like he missed him. And he
Which
was like nobody.
Yeah, but there was a time me and Mark were actually on a call when it happened. He launched it and he's like, "Hit him, do it," and he missed him. And God damn, and Mark's like, "Motherfucker!" It's just like there are a few receivers. There are very few, I would say, considerable. Like there's 10 in the league that if you throw a ball in single coverage, there's a shot, like a 60% shot, that receiver comes down with the ball. He is in that top echelon. He's probably in the top 3. For him to not get anything means you're not even close. So I don't know if there's an injury there because I've never been like a big Jimmy hater.
Yeah.
There's something wrong mechanically with it because he's been serviceable. No, because honestly, you can make this argument right now in the NFL that I would consider maybe only 8 top 8 quarterbacks in the league, and the rest are mid to below. Like trusting, like, is there a quarterback out there besides the certain few that you could trust to go out and win a game? Like, there's very few. There's very few that you can put him on the back. And I don't believe Jimmy G's one, but I also don't believe Daniel Jones is one. I don't believe Kenny Pickett's one. Geno Smith's one. Like, the list can continue on and on.
Guys, I know you didn't watch him.
Yes, we did.
week.
Yes, we did.
Every week, every game for years, five years. The man is mid.
He
He
led
led
you
you
to
to
the
a Super Bowl.
playoffs. He
Because
led you to the Super Bowl.
of the fucking system. This is the thing.
No.
Yes, this is why Purdy's also
But he
successful.
filled in for Tom Brady. He still did
Dude.
really well.
Dude, this is the thing. The way the Niners are designed, the only thing you need to be good at is checking down. And
Then why don't you have Trey Lance anymore?
and every once in a while, chucking one for 25 yards and trying to hit somebody because you have some crazy people down there who will catch the fucking ball. The problem is when you take all that away and you actually have to fucking do it, even with Davante, he just can't do it.
Here's the thing about Josh McDaniels. What people don't like, do you guys all remember the story of when Josh McDaniels went to the Broncos and they started 6-0 and then he got his ass in trouble for taping practices and the motherfucker after that went 7-24? Like, the man's like, and players have come out and said, I've never been more prepared in my life for a McDaniels game being player until they got caught for cheating. McDaniels, I think this is the story. I think they're great offensive coordinators. I believe they're great defensive coordinators, but those two don't equal to head coach. They just don't. Like Dan Quinn wasn't he the former Atlanta Falcons head coach
When
that
they went to
took
the
him to the
Super
Super Bowl, and now he's a part of the Cowboys?
Yeah,
Great defensive mind. Should not lead a head coach. Should not be the head coach. You just can't be. Like, you got to know both aspects really well to be both.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. I say Big Fangio was also very good as a defensive coordinator, but not a coach.
yeah, Wade Phillips was the same way. Like they're great defensive head coaches, but they're just not overall. My thing is the thing that's always consistent in my life, and it's been consistent since I was born. The Raiders fucking suck. The Raiders have always sucked. The Raiders, the 1 year they were good that I remember was 2002 when Rich Gannon, win the MVP, went to the Bucs and got his ass demolished by that Bucs defense. I've never remembered them being like this all like, especially since that day, never lights out. They were great in the 90s, probably
fair.
great.
To be fair, in 2001 they were also pretty fucking great, and then Tom Brady stole the game. So
Tuck rule. So yeah. Josh, it's Davis is a moron, terrible haircut, terrible businessman, and he's gonna fire him at midnight. Like, and Eberflus keeps his job. Like, what? Whatever. Of course, they're gonna fire. I think Davis said, "Do not trade Davante Adams." As soon as Davante Adams didn't get traded, you fucking fired. What? Fuck you. Get out. I'm not having it. Do you guys? Did Josh McDaniels firing surprise anybody?
It surprised
Especially
me.
after that performance Monday night.
It surprised me that it happened now and not at the end of the season. I kind of thought that they were going to write him out for the end, and then like
That man's
dump
getting
him.
$40 million to sit at home now.
Right, exactly, because he had like a multi-year deal with them. I think the fact that they let Rich Bisaccia go to take this man who completely destroyed the Denver Broncos, left the Indianapolis Colts in the dust, and then they were like, no, come here, try to make us the new Patriots by trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Like, this was coming. I just didn't expect it to be like now, especially at midnight.
Did you think he tried to sign Tebow or something? Like, maybe he called him like, "Hey, can you still do something?" Like,
I feel like after the whole thing with
yeah.
Urban Meyer and then the Jaguars,
Yeah.
when they signed him, I think
You know
Tebow was
what?
like, "I'm done. I'm good."
Everybody watch out. If Pierce doesn't work out, watch who would bring him in more than anything? Davis bringing in Urban Meyer to be the head coach. Watch that happen.
Oh.
Jesus Christ!
Vegas and Urban Meyer, that would be a great combo. All
You
the
just see
pretty
video
women
of
around
kicking
him.
slot machines.
Oh, Mark,
Think-
you surprised?
Maybe not. I kind of wonder if there is something to that. Like, I mean, because there was that thing. I mean, because there was also too, like, you know, the people were calling about Davante Adams, like nobody was picking up the phone. I kind of wonder if there's something played into that, where maybe like they planned on benching Jimmy, and I think probably like, wait, so we're gonna bench Jimmy, but we're not gonna shop him to one of the 8 teams that fucking need a quarterback now. Like, Vikings would have probably loved Jimmy G. The Jets would have killed for Jimmy G. Like, I think there's probably is something to that. Like, it's probably not just losing the game. If it was just losing the game, like he wouldn't have been on the flight home. They would have just left him at the fucking airport, and like that's where we had heard it.
If
But-
you ask Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, they would have left his ass at the airport. They were pissed.
I mean, I think the only thing I just like, and think everybody reiterated, this is one of the all-time great fails, and God, do we all feel bad for Devontae Adams. He thought he was going to play with his best friend, and then like they ship off Derek Carr. He's like, man, we're just gonna blame Derek Carr. Oh, you mean the guy like who loves the franchise and like who kind of helped keep this team out of mediocrity after the Gruden stuff and what happened to Henry Ruggs? Like they made the fucking playoffs that year. I honestly thought the Raiders were going somewhere.
And who
After
was
they
the
dug
guy that was on
themselves
who was
like
the player on
and change it
Instagram
and go from Carr to Jimmy G. That was not even like a side move. That was more like a step backwards. Like
No, it's
people
not.
give
They're
people
are
give a lot of
both
shit
equal.
to Derek Carr,
was a
but
giant-
Derek Carr is better than
giant.
Jimmy G, at least.
They are equal.
I would agree with that.
No, they're not equal.
No.
Derek Carr hasn't shown it this year, but at least he can fucking launch the ball down the field, and I feel
Sure, he can launch the ball down the field, but he
run
can't.
a competent offense.
He sits there and screams at Olave because he wasn't running fast to go. He literally looks at Olave, run faster. What? What are you talking about? Like, listen, Jimmy G, correct. But look at the weapons Carr has in New Orleans. You give that to half the mediocre quarterbacks. Like, holy shit. Michael Thomas, Olave, Kamara, Taysom Hill on a weird fucking screen. Like, this is just, what are we doing? Like, it's wild. Wild. But, Mark, it is your turn. Week 8. What's your surprising thing?
Well, maybe not so surprising. I mean, because we
We're
brought
talking
up.
about the Atlanta Falcons again. Here we go.
Oh my god.
Gonna
Really?
hit him with the Heineke.
We're going to do it.
I mean, I could, but they actually did a smart football move starting Heineke. But I promise you guys we won't. We won't. But I have talked about this team before because the good old boy Jets scraped one out against the Giants. I want to bring up the Jets again, just because I think there is something at least to this team, even though they look bad and they just kind of somehow manage to keep winning games, even though they probably shouldn't. I don't know. Guys, Jets, do we love them or not?
That game should have been sent to China. That was what they sent the most punts since 2000, and it was like in the third quarter. They beat the record by a quarter, like before the game even ended. And I'm telling you right now, what's his name? Dayball should have been shot to the moon. It's 4th and 1. You have Saquon Barkley as your running back, and you're just, we're going to just see what happens. And then your defense doesn't know who Alan Lazard is and just lets him wide open down the middle of the field. Like, this game was absolutely putrid to watch. But here's the thing. This defense is always going to keep them in games. It will keep them in games. If they can keep their opponents under 20 points, they have any shot to win it. And the scary thing is, I think the Miami Dolphins are real worried about playing the Jets.
Yeah.
Because that strong of defense versus an offense that is, listen, I think the Miami Dolphins are the biggest fraud in the NFL. The biggest fraud in the NFL. Because, here's the reason. They're a team that is considered, that could consider, they're high on power rankings. They could be considered in the AFC conversation as like a team that could contend or go to the Super Bowl. And I think they will get dog walked by every good team in the AFC with a competent defense. Look at the 2 games that they lost this season. They lost to the Eagles that literally dog walked them up and down the field. Barely gave them the ball. And the Bills flipping out-dueled them, which who knows who the Bills are. So with the Jets playing them,
Great, that's what they are.
with great linebackers, great front end, and overall like a great secondary, I think the Jets. Again, Nazario hates this. If they get Rodgers back, this team could be terrifying. Like
It's
absolutely
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's
Absolutely.
Here's the argument. I heard this on a podcast this week. If it's week 16 and they have rattled off a good amount of wins, the Jets are in the playoffs. Do they? Somebody said it's a harder conversation that they turn the ball over to Rodgers or keep it in Wilson's hands.
No.
I don't think that's even a question mark. If he can do any of the football moves, they turn it to Rodgers immediately. It's no question.
We just made the playoffs. We have this second pick disappointment who likes to fuck everybody's moms. And we have one of the future Hall of Famers of the NFL. Who should we start? Bring a kombucha thing, put it in a rag and wrap it around his ankle and fucking go.
I agree. But I think the Jets could be the frisky team that upsets a lot of teams going forward.
I am.
And I think they play spoiler in that division. Because with the Bills, I think they've already beaten the Bills once. They could beat them again. And then also to beat Miami, I'm just saying, Jets, Jets. I don't know. I'm with you, Mark. Nazario? The goddamn Jets.
The fucking Jets are the fucking Jets. They will win some games. They have been winning some fucking games, especially those divisional matches. Especially those divisional matches that people always underestimate. Because, like, yes, you have, for example, last week, you have the fucking Chiefs and you have the fucking Broncos, and everybody's like, well, the gap. No. When you meet a team twice every fucking year, you start to learn their ways. You start to learn that shit. That's why you get fucking upset divisionally all the time. So, can the Jets beat the Dolphins? Yes. Can they beat the Packers? The Patriots? Of course. Can they beat the Bills? Maybe. But it's a good team. It's just still the Jets.
You know who they did beat? They're the one loss. They're the one loss against the Eagles.
They have beaten the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles right now, which
without their cornerbacks, without their main cornerbacks,
which could consider, Sauce Gardner and the other one wasn't on the field. I think. Here's a question. I just have a question for you, Nazario. Their next 3 games: Chargers, Raiders, which is a primetime game. They didn't flex that one either. That's disrespectful. And then they have Buffalo. If they win, let's say they win 2 out of 3, they are 6-4.
They'll win one. They'll win one for sure, the Raiders, and probably split the other 2. Yes, 2 out of 3.
So they're 6-4.
Good shit.
They
will fuck it up.
Jets will Jets. That's what they say.
Dude, like, I don't
That's
understand.
what you say about the Lions, too.
I don't understand how the people go through this shit every year. You sound like Jim Green with the fucking Cowboys. They will fuck it up. It's historical. Like, the one time they wouldn't do it, everybody's going to be like, if the Jets ever make the Super Bowl again, I'm fucking betting for them because I don't think they ever will. Like, that's just fucking football facts.
And then they play. Okay, so Friday, weird. Friday? Oh, Thanksgiving? Black Friday, they play the Dolphins in.
Wait, what? Why are they football games on Black Friday?
They did that last year as well.
They did that. They added one game on Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna complain. I believe this is a new setup. They need to play a game every day of the week. I think they need to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then the rest of the slates on Sunday, and then one game on Monday, and we can recycle every time.
They did play like Tuesday and Wednesday, the COVID year, right?
Probably.
At least
Yeah.
one of them was
Oh,
Wednesday.
they played because they had to like postpone it to a certain week or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Friday, which we do need to schedule out. But no, I think that's interesting. Thor, you get to speak for Scully. Actually, this is just you. So, what is your interesting thing from Week 8? That Coho thought that Kirk Cousins was going to be back next week because he just sprained his ankle.
That was hilarious. We were all looking at him going, buddy.
They got another Achilles in the back. They're just going to slap it on his leg and move on.
He tweaked his Achilles. He tweaked it.
Yeah, he just twisted his
Put
ankle.
some ice on it, pussy. What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
He's the first person to ever be carted off for a sprained ankle.
You know what? I was gonna talk about the Buccaneers and how they probably should have gotten that Hail Mary. But considering I'm filling in
wild.
right.
Great comedy that was.
But considering I'm filling in for Scully, I think he'd be happy for me to bring this up, how much the Packers fucking suck right now. Do you know, since they played the Saints, what their cumulative score in the first half of games is since then?
You're using a lot
9
of
points.
Oh.
9 points.
I was going to
They-
guess under that.
And most of them are from a singular field goal. They cannot do anything in the first half of games lately.
A singular field goal. Wait a minute. 9 points. Of course it's a field. What the fuck are you talking
No, 9 points. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. But like, not like
Okay.
2 in one first half. Like most of them
No,
are just like
like-
one field goal.
3 field goals in 3
Sure.
games. That's what he means.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
get you.
So they
Right.
got the field goal one half and then packed it in and got it.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
We got 3. Let's go.
Fuck it. We're going to do it next year.
and then they'll like slightly pick it up in the second half, but then something will always go wrong. Whether it's Jordan Love, Joe Barry's defense playing like 10 yards off of the receivers, just Matt LaFleur having no idea what to do, Aaron Jones just disappearing even after that man was given a pay cut. I don't know what the hell is going on with Aaron Jones in that mysterious hamstring injury. Is he healthy or
He's
not?
old. He's
Well,
old.
yeah, but right, but is he healthy or not? Is he going to play? And if you're going to play him, your best player, arguably, use him the full game. But like, this is it. It is shockingly bad. I wasn't expecting them to be a playoff team. I was expecting them to maybe win like 7 games. But like, if you look at their first halves lately, especially against the Vikings, it's atrocious, and you can't win when you start so slowly. Everyone's dropping footballs like Nelson Aguilar. It's a tremendous failure right now.
Do you think the fact that they traded Rasul Douglas means like they gave up on the season?
No one thought that was going to happen. No one was
Here.
predicting Rasul Douglas to go. So yeah, absolutely.
Here's the
Fire sale time.
Here's
Shit.
the interesting thing. One, Jordan Love is 4 years in the league. Okay? He is not like a rookie. Yes, this is his first year, but he sat behind Rodgers. If you ain't picked up anything now, you ain't the solution. Like, that's number one. 2, Rodgers missed the playoff and struggled with this exact team last year. So, 1, it's not just Jordan Love's fault. It's the construction of what this team is. They
I think
refuse to
LaFleur is
draft
still-
offense.
I think
What?
LaFleur is still coaching him as if he is Aaron Rodgers.
No, I don't even think that's the case. I think this team is still struggling because they refuse to use their draft capital at the beginning of the rounds to draft offensive weapons. I'm sorry. Watson was made to look like an okay wide receiver because of Rodgers. Dobbs is not a number 2, number 3, probably not even number 4. Aaron
He's the only
Jones
one
is
catching
old.
touchdowns for them.
Aaron Jones is old. Dylan is a fullback. So I think they should have traded more. I believe. I just don't know why NFL teams don't do this because I think the worst place you could be is middle of the road, not doing a lot. I think you just implode, trade all the big assets away, get enough draft capital to improve your team. Because you're telling me Alexander wouldn't get some weight?
He would get at least multiple offers.
Like Dylan gets somebody, like get something, a 7th, a 6th, and build up through the draft capital and make it actually work. Because hey, nobody is feeling bad for the Green Bay Packers at this point because you had 2 generational quarterbacks that teams would have killed for, and now you're in mediocrity. Enjoy it. You didn't. Guess what? And Jordan Love wasn't the ticket. Jordan Love was not the ticket. It's like they didn't know quarterbacks either. Like Jordan Love and the draft didn't scream.
I don't think Sean Clifford's their answer either, though.
This feels kind of like the 2000s 49ers after Steve Young and Montana. Like, Jeff Garcia was okay. I like Jeff Garcia. He's a nice guy. But he definitely wasn't the solution at that time. And after that, it was just a fucking shit show. So if that is what is going to happen to the Packers, good. Because I fucking hate the Packers.
I love everything, no matter what we talk about. We could talk about the war in South Korea and North Korea. Well, the 49ers in the 90s, they did a really good job. Hey, we're talking about the atomic bomb. It doesn't matter. 49ers.
I said the 2000s were not good.
We always get right back to it. 9/11 happened, but let me tell you about Jeff Garcia on the 49ers.
That game they suspended on that weekend, though. Jesus.
Yeah. Mark.
Yeah, the Packers don't make any fucking sense. Like, I didn't understand them last year. Like, last year made no sense. And I think what's weird is that I'm kind of starting to go on the fence that maybe Matt LaFleur, like, just isn't that good of a coach. Like,
no.
I mean, what? I don't know if it's. Listen, I don't know if it's hot takey or not. He just doesn't, like, this feels like the same fucking team. Like, I would have thought at the very least, like, oh, maybe we don't know what our quarterback is. Maybe we'll lean on the run game. And, like, Dylan and both Aaron Jones, like, combined for, like, 16 rushes. I'm like, what are we doing? And again, I mean, we hit on that too. Is like, they don't, for whatever reason, like, they don't want to draft wide receivers. And I think this is an unproven guy. Like, I don't know why you don't go out and just fucking get some people. Like, I don't, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, I'm kind of shocked that, freaking Rodgers able to get freaking Randall Cobb. I was like, well, if you're not going to give me good guys, at least give me somebody I know can catch a fucking pass.
Believe me, I disagree. I think LaFleur is a good head coach. I believe he's not, but he's not. The thing is, he's not the general manager. He doesn't build the team. So the thing is,
but his game plan doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I don't understand what he's doing out there.
But here's the thing. Listen, if I put 11 like Lego pieces that don't go together on and tell me to build something, you ain't gonna get nothing. The offensive line is Swiss cheese.
That's so banged up right now.
That offensive line is Swiss cheese. The wide receivers couldn't probably play in D1 right now. Like, on a good team, they'd be behind.
On the CFL and XFL.
And the running backs are old as shit, and he's got to trust Jordan Love. He's like, well, we can't be one-dimensional. We got to try to run. Oh, we're getting stuffed. Okay, time to pass. Oh, this motherfucker can't pass. So what do I do? Send the punting unit out. Send it out. Hey, coach, it's only second down. I don't care. I'd rather not have the ball and just trust the defense.
Like, the defense should be good, but
I know he's the scapegoat. I know he's the scapegoat. He's going to fall on the sword. It's going to be his fault, but I am mind blown when a coach doesn't have any solution whatsoever. Like, like Dobbs at times would be rather if he just drop down the middle field and hump the football, because he sure as hell can't catch it across the middle. Can't catch it at all.
Thank God Jaden Reed is
if I see Dobbs or Watson hit their hand one more time and turn back to Jordan Love, like, no one else was questioning whose fault it is. It is you.
I'll tell you something, Cody.
He throws it past Jones's head, like when he's trying to field it, and Love's like, he should be dead in front of the Lambo.
I'll tell you something, Cody. I know how it feels to see talent where nobody else does.
Yeah.
Where nobody else does. I know that. So this is what I'm going to do for you. When he inevitably gets fired from the Packers,
I'm not
somebody at some point will sign him again as a head coach, maybe 5 years down the road or something. If that is a good team, I'll buy you a Big Mac.
Thanks.
Probably won't happen this year.
I'm so poverty-stricken I can't afford a Big Mac. No, I think if he got fired, he's going. The Bears, the Raiders, any coach that is getting let go this year, he'd be top of the list.
He's not getting a head coaching job immediately, though. Remember, you have to go back down the thing.
No, you don't.
Who fires a head coach and the head coach gets immediately another job that is not called Sean Payton or something like that?
Good question.
I'd have to look into it. There's got to be a coach out there. But like I think of the coaches that get fired don't show like an actual like trajectory of being he's been successful.
Who's the coach of the Panthers right now?
Frank
Reich. Frank Reich just did that. He got fired from the Colts, and immediately this next year he's the head coach of the Panthers.
Lawyered.
Good shit.
Boom. And they bring people in from college. We're like, oh, Matt Rule, you want to be coach of the Panthers? Hey, this is the NFL, buddy. It's not Nebraska, morons. Okay. Everybody's favorite segment. Caleb Cole's Power Rankings. The Vikings did win. They also lost Kirk Cousins. I just want everybody to reminder, he bases this on the projection of like how the rest of the season's going to go. So when he puts the team up, he's like, they have a brighter future. That's why the Dolphins were ahead of the Eagles, because they had a brighter future. So we'll find out where the Power Rankings lie.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you kidding?
I'm wearing a fucking Niners hat, and this shit makes no sense. Like, they lost their third game in a row, and they move up like 5 spots.
At least the Rams are 23. Like I can live with that.
He dropped them very far. Here's my thing. So I guess everybody moved down because the Vikings moved up.
It must be because of the ankle.
Did the Bengals move down? Like what happened there?
I want to check.
Nazario will tell us.
Like they're at 12.
Did the Texans win? Did the Texans win?
No, they lost.
No,
they lost.
They lost to the Panthers.
Lost to the worst team in the league.
That was rough. I think the Seahawks won against the Browns, which is a very tough defense. They moved down. I like that. I just you can't tell me that Kirk Cousins' leg goes snap.
Did he do this before or after they traded for Josh Johnson?
He believes Dobbs is the future. I literally sent a message after he sent me this power ranking. I said, "You're an ass clown." And then
the Bengals were 17 last week.
I guess they moved.
I said, you said once you rank the teams based on the rest of the season. He said the Vikings are going to be fine. In Dobbs, we trust, baby. That system is the same as a Shanahan-McVay system. As long as the quarterback doesn't give it away.
Woo!
As long as the quarterback doesn't give it away, we have the best receivers, a solid running back room, and the defense looks better than it has in a very long time. We will be okay.
His best receiver is in a fucking wheelchair.
I gotta tell you, I wish I had his mentality like the last 5 seasons with the Spurs. Like I would have been like the happiest person ever those 5 years. Right? Like I just thought, man, my team's like.
What do you mean Zach Collins can't lead? What do you mean Zach Collins can't lead us to an NBA Finals? Like, what are you talking about? Zach Collins and Vassell? Like, come on, this is a pick and roll duo that Tim Duncan wishes he was. I just don't know.
Is that how it sounds when I talk about the fucking system? Because ew.
Yes, kind of. I just don't see, and again, I guess I'm the resident Lions supporter on the show. The Lions are better. The Lions, I think, Seahawks. I don't know who the Cowboys truly are. And I think we're going to find out on Sunday night who the Bills really are when they play the Bengals. As long as the game is completed. I think
Wow.
Should be that funny,
if that game continues, the Bengals spank the Bills. We all watched the beginning of that game. It was going to be ugly. I think the Bills. We don't know what the Bills are. The Vikings shouldn't be in that consideration. They should
No,
all
we know what
drop
the Bills
down.
are. They're a question mark.
Yeah. And again, I've said this. I know you argue with me. That's fine. But the Lions' one strong, hard game for the rest of the season is against the Cowboys. That's the one hard game they have left. That is it. You can't tell me that the Vikings, the Lions have one of the best defenses and one of the best offenses. They're going to steamroll the Vikings when they play them. They have to. I think this is. And Miami being number one is insanity. Insane. How you don't have the Eagles there with a bullet. Makes no sense.
The Eagles don't have a brighter future as the 49ers.
If that's what you want to argue, if that's what you want to argue, fine. I'm actually okay with that. If those are your top two teams, but you cannot tell me the Miami Dolphins are a better team than those two teams right now currently. They have 2 losses. The Eagles have 1 against a great defense. Weird. I mean, Coho literally is on crack. Like, the Patriots are 21. I mean, I know the list is a little gross, but, like,
we believe Mac Jones, baby.
I like that he moved up the Panthers 2 spots because of the win. And also drop the Giants 1 spot because of that ugly-ass loss.
I mean, here's also a question. We didn't really talk about it in week 1, but, like, I think it was a flash in the pan. I do not think he's going to recreate it. But maybe Will Levis is a better quarterback fit in Tennessee than Ryan Tannehill because he can at least chuck the ball downfield.
He already has double the amount of touchdown that Ryan Tannehill has had.
I mean, D-Hop did the biggest pass interference I've ever seen in my life on a wide receiver like that first touchdown. He spun the DB like a top and said, and the guy was like, "What are you?" I didn't see it. We're good.
So
what?
That is actually a good question. What the fuck happened to Ryan Tannehill? Because he was okay. Like
he was good with checkdowns. He was good with checkdowns and middle. He never has a big arm.
No, I know, but like this year he couldn't even do that.
Also, AJ Brown
is that guy.
6 straight games over 125 yards, and his 125 yards this past week wasn't like sling passes and wide open catches. It was one-handed twisting in the end zone, like ripped apart. And thank God the Eagles don't have to see the Commanders the rest of the season because holy crap,
they are our brick wall for some
Sam Howell turned into Joe Montana in that game. He was not missing a thing. And Terry McLaurin dropping those 2 passes at the end. I'm like, Sam Howell did everything for you. You couldn't catch a ball for him. That was rough. Like, wild. Coho's an idiot. I mean, stays true every year. A torn Achilles to your quarterback makes you the 6th overall team of this season. They'll be just fine. Josh Dobbs. All right. Big news happened last week. The Eliminator. Everybody gone. We are all back in.
It took me 8 weeks, but I missed.
We did miss. Everybody, I appreciate it. It happened to both of you because I was like, oh, watch Nazario just win again. He technically did because everybody else just lost. So that was interesting. And now the picks. I mean,
okay. Let me give you the updated rankings. Wait a sec. Bim, bim, bim. Here we go.
I'm not a laughing stock anymore, boys.
Well, you move up a bit. That's good.
I did. Had a great week. And everything. Thank you thank you.
Similar to my multiplex career in every single league I play, I'm a 500 guy. I'm like hanging in there, but I'll never leave.
Thank you to giving Mark just to pick the Vikings over the Packers, but you're not the only one. Everybody said, "Oh, this is the game they go into Lambeau. They end up losing the game to Lambeau." No, they don't. No, they don't. This is exactly what they are. So how the picks will work this week, Nazario gets the first pick. I will get the second pick. Bar's picks will count for Scully. So if he does bad, might get angry DMs, and then we'll all pick the eliminator, which means you also pick for Scully. And if you lose and everybody else wins, he's out of that, and he'll love you forever. All teams that you picked previous are back on the table. You can't pick another team again. So Nazario, who's your first pick of the week?
See, the fucking Seahawks thinks they're great shit right now because they are above the 49ers for half a game. 5-2 and 5-3. Yeah, that's gonna last exactly 1 week because they're gonna fucking lose to the Ravens, and we're gonna be 5-3, and then eventually in about 3 weeks we play them or so, they'll go back down to their fucking place. So I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens, which I never do because I hate that team. I never know how to fucking understand that team. But that team is going to fucking destroy the Seahawks. 24-10, because I don't think they're really going to destroy them.
Okay. What's the score, did you say?
24-10.
I think the Seahawks could win that division, to be honest with you.
Season of Tomb is like coming.
So it's my pick. Some rough matchups this week, if we're being 100% honest. Don't really know where to go with some of these teams. Some of them will be picked, so we have to decide. But I'm going to do it because I'm pretty confident, and if I lose this game, I'm not going to be sad about it because it will help my one case. But I'm going to say it's going to be 28-20. The Fly Eagles Fly will beat the Cowboys in Lincoln Financial Field. I don't trust the Cowboys' offense. Their defense is good
score?
when they get 28-20.
Good shit.
I just don't see them being able to stop the Philly offense, and then I don't trust Dak with the game on the line in Lincoln Financial to battle back.
That is a very strong quarterback.
And if the Eagles drop one to the Cowboys, it will be in Jerry's world. It will not be in the league.
It doesn't matter. The Eagles are going to hold the ball for like 18 minutes in that second half. Like that's how they're going to win that game.
Yeah, they're going to just settle. They're going to always make sure it's 4th and 1. That defense is going to be sucking wind, and then they're just going to push it right across and be like, "Time to go again."
I'm telling you, quarterbacks sneak your way to the end zone, like 5 yards, everyone.
I just can't wait till Jason Kelce turns. Jason Kelce turns to Michael Parsons. You tired yet? This is going to be all night long. Just get ready for it. So, suck and win, dying. All right, Scully, also known as Andrew Barr. Who you got?
I
think you have to pick the Bears because he is not here.
I had strict instructions about that game.
He told you not to?
Absolutely. Let's see.
Did he give you a list?
No, he just told me one thing, and it was do not pick the Bears Saints game. It was just one rule. Otherwise, he said, have at it. Let's see here. I think I'm going. It's between two things, as I'm famous for saying, apparently. I think I'm going to take. I'm going to say that the Cleveland Browns beat the Arizona Cardinals. I think Myles Garrett has a field day that day, especially if Clayton Tune is starting. I'm going to say the score for that game is going to be 20-10.
Sounds like a field day.
You took Browns.
Yeah.
Over who were they playing?
The Cardinals.
Oh, without a quarterback now. Yeah.
Josh Douglas.
And what was your score? Sorry, I was texting.
20-10.
20-10. Okay.
Did the Texans win yet?
What?
Did the Texans win yet? Like,
They've won 3 games.
no, like, aren't they playing right now?
Oh no, that's tomorrow. And,
sure?
and they're
What
not
do you
even playing
mean the
tomorrow.
Texans?
They're not playing. I don't know what
Yeah,
we're
the
talking
Titans
about.
play tomorrow.
Oh, sorry. I mean the Rangers. Fuck.
Oh. The Rangers are up 1-0 in the bottom of the zone.
Okay.
There you go.
I said Texans. Yikes.
We know English is your second language, but man, it looks like that. We were all confused for a second. Well, what the fuck are you? We're talking Wednesday night football. Like, is there a game on? Because last time I checked, it was Titans Pittsburgh. I didn't know that the Houston Texans were playing early. All right, Mark, do your you better do it. Oh, this is still here. Fine.
I mean, you guys took a lot of the safe picks, and now I'm worried. So I mean, I'll just.
Yeah, there's gross games. There's gross.
Even though these guys fucked me over, like I just don't think it's gonna happen 2 weeks in a row. I'll take the Colts over the Panthers.
That was the other one.
Just like I mean, that worries me. I don't know if the Panthers showed up last week, or maybe it was that the Texans didn't show up. It's one of the two. And you know what? Because in Cincinnati, I just feel very confident about this one. Take the Bengals over the Bills. Because finish out that one. Oh, fucking score for
Colts.
Did say it's 16-13, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Like whatever. But yeah.
And then
Bengals over the Bills. Say 34-28.
God, I hope so. That'd be a great game. By the way, this is not like ammo, but Scully also known as Bar. If you pick a game against somebody else, it's worth 2 points. So
Right.
the Bills,
But if you
you
lose,
it's net 2 points. So
I mean, so far everyone's picked everything that I would agree with. So
I could just see Nazario going, "Fuck it, I'll take the Bills."
I mean, it's a possibility.
All right, Scully, Bar, who you got? I mean, you picked a fun team as the Browns already, so what else you got?
right, everything else is just kind of disgusting.
It's not awesome.
I
I mean, the Giants and the Raiders is right there.
Honestly, I'm thinking about that because that O-line versus Max Crosby is gonna be like The Rock running through a paper bag.
Is that the primetime game this week?
No, I
What?
think that's 425.
The Giants, the Raiders game.
No, the Chargers versus Jets is Monday night.
Oh, better.
That's
Cool.
That's Monday. Yeah.
We get the Chargers
And Bills
again on
Bengals is
prime
the,
time.
8 o'clock.
Woo woo! In a nice 9-3 game.
So I think I'm going to go with. You know what? This is going to be a. Yeah, I'm going to take this risk actually. I'm going to pick the Steelers to be the Titans. I think that one will be kind of close as well, though. So I'm going to go with 24-21.
Uh, 21 what?
24-21.
Well, I would love that if that's the final score of that game. It will not be, but I would love it. Okay, my pick. Yeah, I'm doing it. I called them the biggest fraud in the NFL. I'm going to do it again. I'm picking the Chiefs in London. Or Germany. I'm taking over the Dolphins. They're a good team. I don't think they match up against them at all. Those linebackers wish they could even cover Travis Kelce. They're not going to be able to. And I think that defense, I think Chris Jones eats because that offensive line for the Dolphins is becoming weaker and weaker. I think Chris Jones eats Tua for like dinner. So that's my pick. I think it's a London game, so I'm definitely going to go low. I'm going to say it's 24 to like 20. I don't think they score a ton, but I don't think they get enough done. Tyreek can have his revenge game, but going to London, I think he's going to be a little tired. So that's my pick. And Nazar, you get back to close out yours.
Everything left sucks.
Oh, you ain't wrong.
What is the least disgusting thing here? Like, I'm not touching the fucking Bears game. The Packers and the Rams. Like, what the shit? You know what? I do believe in D'Amico Ryan. And I know he's having a tough time, but I like what CJ Stroud is doing. So I'm gonna pick Houston over Tampa. Yes, I know. So I'm picking the Texans over the fucking Bucks in a close 12 to 10 game.
Dang it! You didn't want to finish. This is a classic Nazario 12 to 10 game. I was about to come out. He does this like every week or something. He'll do like a 12 to 10 or 12 to 7 or 12 to something. Just like, it's gross. It's nasty. It's just...
And I know you made fun about it, but I'm gonna fucking do it. Like, fuck the Bengals, man. You don't pull that shit against the Niners and get away with it. Just like the Bills whooped the Dolphins, out of nowhere, they're gonna whoop the fucking Bengals. So I'm taking that for 2 in a crazy ass shootout, 55-48.
That would be my favorite game of all time. I would be like,
I mean, I got Burrow and Diggs in that Superflex league. That'd be pretty badass.
Okay, my last pick. I knew he was going to time something. I just didn't know what. I thought he was going to go against me. I'm glad he didn't. And now Nazar is going to be farther away from me, so I don't have to worry about him. This might be a risk. Maybe not do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think that's too early. I'm doing the Falcons over the Vikings. And I'm gonna say it's gonna be 20-14. I don't think Dobbs plays this week. I believe it's that guy from BYU, which couldn't tie his shoes together. So I think it's going to be a dumpster fire for the Vikings. I think they drop this one. I think Heineke with that offense in the dome, Bijan, London, it's a quarterback that can actually hit him in the hands. Yeah, I'm gonna just see it. It's the rest of the games were gross. I was gonna pick the new interim coach against the Giants, but I'm gonna let that go away. I'm not gonna live that life. So, and now Scully, your last pick.
I am gonna live that life. I'm gonna take the Raiders over the Giants. I think, as I said earlier, I think Max Crosby is going to. It's gonna be like an all-you-can-eat buffet for Max Crosby.
Is Tommy DeVito playing again?
Daniel Jones is on track to play.
If you had picked this game earlier, I would have flipped and go Giants Raiders, but
I just think that it's that O line versus that D line, and
that new head coach.
yeah,
Like new head
who's
coach,
a
just something happens.
defensive-minded coach technically.
He'll lose every other game, but this one is a guaranteed probably lock it in win this weekend for some weird reason.
Absolutely.
Daniel Jones hits the IR again because he
I'm
dies
done.
by Max Crosby. Tommy DeVito, the guy from Goodfellas, comes in to play the quarterback.
This shit, guys. I'm telling you, the Giants are gonna beat the Raiders. I'm already done with my picks.
Yeah,
but
you're already done.
I can assure you that shit is gonna happen.
I don't care. You already used your thing. Suck it.
No, I'm just letting it know. I wanted to give you
I'm going
the
to
record.
say I'm going to say that Aiden O'Connell has a field day. Devontae Adams gets at least one touchdown. Jacoby Myers gets at least one touchdown. I'm going to say the score is going to be 30-14.
Oh, wow. Aiden O'Connell season, apparently. All right.
Dude, this
I
guy's
also
amazing.
just don't trust the Giants.
If he scores
that
30-14, he's literally going to get an extension after this. Motherfucker, you are my coach.
We thought the Mike White hype was bad.
and hey, Nazario, same rules apply. After everything's picked, if you would like to throw it back out and pick the Giants in reverse and throw out one of your games, you can do that.
Okay, Mark, finish the ping. I think this over.
Okay. What was Nazario's second pick? I didn't hear that.
Bills.
Texans over Bucks.
Texans over the Bucks. Thank you.
Oh, Texans, yes. Texans.
Okay. Ugh. I don't want to do it.
No, you do. He picks the
Like
Vikings.
all these are traps. Like every single one of these are just traps. Like I don't want to do this. But I mean, I feel like I keep talking this shit up, and they didn't let me down last week. So trust them one more time because they're at home. Give me the Jets taking down
damn
the freaking Chargers and that dumbass Brandon Staley.
I agree.
Let's go.
Wow.
That's a 2-pointer if I ever heard
18
one.
to
They should have
15.
fucking win.
Go.
5-2.
Let's go. Let's go 17-13.
You remember that game that Khalil Mack scored, got like 5 sacks? He just carries Zach Wilson's head off the court field. You said 17 what?
13.
Okay.
I thought about it. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to drop the Texans over the Bucks, and I'm going to take the Giants over the Raiders for 2.
Okay.
This week, I'll either do a comeback or I will file down a hole full of shit. But I am fucking taking
I'll
the
tell you
Giants.
which one I think it's going to be.
The Giants will win by scoring 5 field goals, while the Raiders only scored 3 field goals. So 15-9.
You know Gano is their kicker, right?
Yes.
No, the answer should have been no.
15 to what?
9.
We lost a 12-10 to get a 15-9. I love it. Every time Red Zone moves over to the Giants and Raiders game, I'm going to be like, why? Like, what? It's like that Fox thing. Like, we're going to show you a more competitive game. Enjoy the Buccaneers versus the Texans. Okay. And now everybody's clear on the Eliminator. The Eliminator is now empty. So everybody gets a shot back at it. Nazario, the king of the mountain. So you will get first stab. Again, you can pick the same as another player. That does not deter you. You just
Can you pick the same game with the same winner?
Yeah. You both can't pick again. That player again.
Okay.
You guys just alternate it all the time, so
I'm gonna take All these games suck, by the way. There's like nothing you can like.
This
say,
was
like,
the week. This was the week me and Mark looked at on the schedule when we were predicting, and we're like, some of the games we might just need to miss football this week because like the prime times are not really the prime times. Like you got good games, but you have to get up at 8:30 to watch a good game, and that's probably gonna be low scoring. And then the Cowboys Philly, like the one good game.
even
Buffalo,
that
I
one.
guess Buffalo and Bengals will be.
There are 2 games this weekend. Then we got a whole bunch of Colts and Panthers.
Yeah.
Dude, like there's nothing here that feels like a sure shit. Like not even the Eagles or the Cowboys because it's divisional and that shit always fucking messes you up. I'm just gonna go again with the one thing I feel very, very, very close to sure about, and that's a fucking Ravens. But I take them. I don't like the Ravens.
Wow.
But I'm taking the Ravens.
I think you're insane.
Don't like that. Mark, who you got?
Yeah, I never like picking like the same eliminators when I think I'm gonna do that. They're just gonna be fun here. Because I know Barr's not taking this one. Give me the Saints to beat the Bears.
Okay. Bar. Whatever you pick this week, we'll make sure Scully can't pick them in the future.
But because everyone's back in, it kind of just like erases everything else.
Yeah, everything's up for grabs.
Okay, so everything's up for grabs.
It's like this week. This is brand new. It's week 1.
Man, these matchups suck. I'm gonna go with. I just don't see the Cardinals winning, so I guess I'm gonna go with the Browns. Deshaun Watson's back on track, so.
And I've lost
What? Really?
I've lost
that's
every
what
week
you're
I've
putting your
done
money
this.
on?
No, I'm putting on my money.
Parlor, he's fine. I've lost every time I ever do this. It doesn't matter what I pick. I can pick the right team. I can pick the wrong team. I'm going to lose, but I'm hoping this time it's different. I'm going to pick the Falcons over the Vikings as my pick because I don't predict picking the Falcons any other week. So I'm going to go. Even though Coho believes of the 85 Bears in defense, so they beat the Packers and Jordan Love, and he's like 24-10. What do you expect? That's the show. Thank you, Andrew Barr, for being on, even though you're going to hate yourself tomorrow. Everybody comes in. Maybe you should just get a better job. I think I've been saying that for like 3 years to you now.
I've been working on it.
Still working the same place. Complacency. Scully will hopefully be back in the chair. If not, we will have a guest picker next week. Thank you, Nazario. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, myself, for being here. We'll catch you next week, and why Nazario is maybe 1-4. Bye.
Go Giants.
You don't believe that.
What happened there?